Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Corey, better known as the C-Man, and I want to welcome you to another edition of the C-Man's Cinema Sitdown. We got 2 episodes left, and I finally get to debut my new Rebel shirt. The whole gang, except Ahsoka, she's not technically a Rebel. She, kind of hangs out with the Rebels sometimes in the cartoons. But as you can see, I got the whole gang, man. Chopper, Ezra, Zeb, Sabine, Hera, and Kanan. Now, we know we won't see Kanan, although theoretically I guess we could get spoilers, Kanan Force Ghost, something like that for Ezra. But the one person I'm hoping that we get is my man Zeb, man. Because we saw him in Mando, and it would make a lot of sense to me for Hera to try to reach out to him because there are just things going on. Whether or not that happens, it feels less likely at this point, but he's the one person in these last 2 episodes I would love to see show up. And what are we talking about? Why don't you pull up a chair, take a seat? We are getting ready to take a watch and dive in spoiler-filled into Ahsoka, Season 1, Episode 7, Part 7, and we'll get the title when we start the episode. But yeah, I definitely, with how much this show feels like Rebels Season 5, I'm very much hoping that my man Zeb shows up at least by the finale, we're at whatever happens when everyone comes back to the main galaxy, if they come back to the main galaxy. I'd like Zeb to be there, especially because he's not on his, secondary home world that's, very, very far away. He's just in the Outer Rim, because we saw him in Mando. It'd be weird to see him in Mando and not have him show up where all of his friends are. But that is not the main theory or talking point I have pre-episode today. Today, I want to talk about Ezra, and I want to talk about Baylan. I'm not going to lie to you. Stupendous Wave has worked its way into my YouTube algorithm, and all their stuff has been going off, old and new. my YouTube scroll, and I keep watching their videos. And not just their videos, but there are lots of theory videos, right? The one thing that I've said to my friend Brittany almost every week, the one talking point that the two of us have is we love what Ray Stevenson is doing. We are heartbroken that we won't get to see him pick this character up in Season 2 or wherever else Baylan may show up. But 3, we don't know what Baylan's deal is. It feels like this dude's got his own agenda, that he's not trying to do Sith things. I think he's more in that dark Jedi realm, where it's and this was something that Stupendous Wave talked about in some other videos, where you can tell Homeboy was definitely a Jedi. And last week, talking about how he believed in and liked the concepts of the Jedi, right? But not what the ultimate outcome was. This feels like a guy who has had a little bit of both sides of things, and I think Baylan finds somewhere in the middle to be the true course, so to speak. And if that's Baylan's run, being able to utilize the dark side of the Force without going full Sith, I feel like maybe that could be what's going on with Ezra as well. And this is the thing. I saw this pop up online somewhere, and I was like, I hope. There's part of me that hopes that this is true, because it would just be badass. The chainmail that Ezra is wearing, a lot of people have been speculating those are stormtrooper dog tags. That would be badass. And we know Ezra is a badass. But to be a badass without, I would hope he maybe got himself a blaster at some point in the, 9 or 10 years that him and Thrawn have been in this galaxy. But same difference, he can use the Force. And if you're put in tough situations, maybe leaning into that dark side tendency that we saw in early Ezra could be what saves your life occasionally. And if it saves your life or the lives of others, would Ezra be tempted to go down that path? And it's one of those things that coming into the season, I was very, very, very reluctant and not at all looking forward to a storyline that takes Ezra down a dark path. Because we did that in Rebels, man. He straight up in Season 4 said, nah, bro, see you later to the Emperor. He couldn't be tempted by the Emperor. I don't see him going to the dark side for anything. But in a galaxy far, far away, and you're in the scenario that he's in, right? Think about all the things, The other thing I've been talking to my friend Britt about is, do we get any story, actual action from right after the jump? Because when Ezra and Thrawn get jumped to hyperspace with the Purgle, all the windows are knocked out of the Chimera. Like, the bridge has no functioning windows. I don't know what that would do in hyperspace. Let alone, the minute those Purgle let go, you would have to assume that Ezra is going to go for Thrawn and Thrawn is going to go for Ezra. So how, one, do you get to where you're going with the like tools and things that are broken and not working? And then two, once you get there and the Purgle release you, how do one of these two guys not kill the other? And the only thing that I could think of that would maybe play is if Ezra was kind of on this Baylan path, where I think he holds true Jedi principles as core values for himself. But if the dark side and using the dark side of the Force saved Ezra, maybe saved, the friends that he makes, maybe Ezra is a little off. And people have said, like, just based on the way that he showed up and what he was doing, like, there have been people that kind of feel something off with Ezra. And I didn't feel that last week because I was just excited to see homie, man. And it's one of those, like, Ezra is one of my favorite Jedi. And knowing that he's got, like, a decade of story that we haven't seen, I'm, like, fascinated to find out what's been going on and how Ezra has been able to stay alive. Because the other thing is, if Ezra isn't using the dark side of the Force or even the light side of the Force to take people out, how has Thrawn not killed him yet? You know what I mean? And why would Thrawn not want to kill him? Look at all of the dark troopers that he has and all the capabilities that the Chimera has. Like, you think it'd be pretty easy to take out Ezra and this group of like little rock shell people. So like all of that stuff just fascinates me. Like, why is Ezra alive, and how could he be alive at this point, and why wouldn't Thrawn have killed him? And one of the going around theories is like, well, Thrawn realizes how big of a threat Ezra is, and he's lost a lot of people to that kid. So I don't know. I'm fascinated to see where we go there. And the other thing, the Dark Troopers. What will be going on there? Last week I did not pick up on the Dark Trooper name drop. Hearing Dark Troopers, I'm in line with everybody else. I think these are undead stormtroopers that have been brought back to life, whether they were already dead on the Chimera, whether Ezra killed them, whatever it is. You got a lot of undead stormtroopers that I think have been raised back to some form of living by the Night Sisters. And we saw that, right, with Marok. And that's my, like, logical thinking is like, okay, Marok, we saw the Night Sister magic was clearly animating his corpse. Why show us that? Why give Ahsoka and Sabine and even Baylan and Shin the visual, like, or not, I guess Baylan wasn't. Well, yeah, no, Baylan wasn't out there. It would have been Shin and Sabine and Ahsoka's faces were all like, what in the hell? To never go back to that. I think the logical reason you put that in place is to tee up that these night troopers are not alive. What that means, what was the cargo they were unloading? A lot of people are talking about coffins. Could that be more stormtroopers? Could it be undead? Did Morgan on her ship have, I don't know, the bodies of Night Sisters or Night Brothers? You got all the Dathomiri and the Darth Maul, like the males of Dathomir. Darth Maul, like his brother. You wonder if they have undead night people in those coffins. Where are those coffins coming from? Or are they more troopers that the Night Sisters have to reanimate? Who knows? But I definitely think there's some zombie witchcraft stuff going on there. I think the conceptual idea of the Night Troopers is terrifying, and I kind of want to see that in full play. And the other thing that we got last week is when Thrawn showed up, you saw all them troopers behind him. You're like, yeah, he's got a very large army, and if they're undead, I think that's going to be a very scary army. So Supposed to watch this last night. Had tickets to the Mets game. Me and my buddy would leave at 3:30. We get down there, miss the traffic, get to the bar right as it opens, get some drinks, get into the stadium. There's a Pat LaFrida's filet mignon steak sandwich. Went and got 2 of those. Had them eaten, sitting down in our seats with fresh beer right before the game's supposed to start. And we're like, there's nobody on the field and the lines aren't. And we just see like the infield looks like trash. And I'm sitting there going like, bro, it stopped raining by like 3-4 o'clock this afternoon, and it wasn't even raining hard. It was like drizzly. How is the field not in shape? I was very angry last night. We sat in like an hour of rain delay before finding out that the game was finally canceled. And I'm like just sitting there like the rain out here was not that bad. And now it's like throwing my whole day off. And turns out I guess they didn't take the tarp off the field for a week, and there was a lot of rain in this area with one of the hurricanes that had been coming through. And water got under it. Very aggravating. Got back, no baseball played at like 10:30, and I was shot. And now me and my buddy Nico are talking about going back down because our tickets will get us into the single admission doubleheader tonight. I got things going on Wednesday. I got this. I got to edit this. I got to try to get this up before I go to the Mets game. It's going to be a busy ass day. And with all that, all those moving pieces and things, it might be a little delayed getting some stuff up, what have you. Every once in a while, I like to have fun and not just record and go to work. So that being said, I need to shut up and get ourselves ready to take a look at this second to last episode of season 1 of Ahsoka. Like I said, we got a lot of things that I think are exciting, that could be in play, that I'm interested in, and the only way that we get to find out what those things are is to give this episode a watch. Let's get the episode up for you guys. It is up for me. Wasting no more time. Let's dive in to Ahsoka, season 1, episode 7, part 7, and we'll find the title out and go. I'm like trying to get ahead of things today.
Sabine, it was the only choice.
It definitely was the only choice for Sabine, right? Like, had to go find Ezra. The other thing too is like Baylan talking about like something calling to him from Peridea, and I've seen the Abeloth theory. That would be really interesting. And the other thing too, right? Like, does Thrawn peace out before Baylan and Shin even come? Like, I could see Baylan playing ball with the rebels if Thrawn bounces or something. Because it's not just, Sith versus Jedi stuff with Baylan. And, like he Says, he can feel something in Peridea calling to him. I think the Abeloth theory would be really fascinating. She would be a unbelievably dark, terrifying force presence that could be calling to Baylan.
Return to Coruscant with the fleet. The Senate Oversight Committee is going to...
And we've got Mon Mothma on the cover image for the episode, so we're obviously going to find out what's going on with Hera this episode. And then Ahsoka. We got to get Ahsoka to Peridea and see what goes down, right? Thrawn's given the order to kill any Purgle that come in. So I'm fascinated, dude. We got minute-wise. We got 40 minutes ahead of us. Like, let's go. Dave Filoni, just keep doing the Lord's work, man. Love this show so much. But I am really interested to see if we get any kind of backstory about what happened with Ezra and Thrawn. Chopper sitting at a desk. That's amazing.
And it has rules and laws which General Syndulla seems to have no problem bending to fit her personal agenda.
My job is to protect the people of this republic, and that is exactly what I was doing.
Tell him, Hera.
You protected the New Republic by ignoring direct order.
No, I protected the New Republic by ignoring you.
Yeah, get him, Hera. Can't wait to meet him, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, in a couple weeks.
At least agree that General Syndulla's actions brought to light that there was an incident on Satos.
An incident, yes.
Uh-oh, that's not good.
Jedi. False Jedi. Star
Like Carson shaking his head like that.
Are we to believe any of it?
Morgan Elsbeth was leading a coordinated effort by the Imperial Remnant.
Objection! Imperial Remnant. Such a sensational term.
Yeah, you ain't been out to the freaking outer route, like the outer rim.
What about the conflict on Mandalore?
Exactly my point.
Get him, Carson.
There's no proof of a greater conspiracy and thus no immediate threat to this republic.
If Thrawn returns, that will change quickly.
This guy's on the Shadow Council in some way, I bet.
The possibility of what might happen or your unwillingness to see it.
I'll tell you what I see. I see a general who abuses her authority for personal gain, and I will not stand for it.
Who is this guy? Why is he getting this much time to talk? Like, shut him down, Mon Mothma.
Order.
Court-martialed. Yo, this guy is definitely on that Empire Shadow Council. I don't think we... C-3PO! Let's go! Hell yeah!
Welcome.
3PO!
Honored Chancellor, with respect, I am here on behalf of Senator Leia Organa.
Yes, let's go!
Thank you.
Hell yeah, 3PO!
The Honorable Senator Organa has become aware of an unfortunate situation and wishes to present this data transcript, which she hopes may resolve the matter.
Let's go, Leia! Hell yeah. Leave it to Leia to come in. Yo, you shut your mouth, homie.
As I was about to say, the transcript shows that
Strongest terms, you respect Leia.
Lula's reconnaissance mission to Cetos, unaware that Senator Ziono had held a vote against such a mission without her.
This is preposterous.
Yes.
Cannot admit evidence of this kind from a mere droid.
That ain't no mere droid, homie. You do not know who you're talking to.
Asks that you address any further concerns to her directly in her role as leader of the Defense Council.
Let's go. Even if we can't physically get Leia's presence. Here for it, Filoni.
Madam Chancellor.
Boy!
Court dis-
I don't trust that guy at all. I would have tabs put on him. He's up to some shady stuff.
Well, it is my programming and my pleasure to be of service, General Syndulla.
Warms my heart.
Might I have a word?
Of course, Chancellor.
I don't know what you and Leia are playing at, but I know she did not authorize your mission.
She did. Eventually.
Clearly.
Put your personal feelings aside and don't deny you have them. How real is the...
I mean, that's fine, but she's also playing with real stuff. Thank you. It's real.
We have to prepare for the worst
Yup.
and hope for the best.
Yup. So it's like, you need people like Mon Mothma and Leia, you know, in play because they're the ones that understand that the Empire's sneaky, man. Dreams and madness. That, of course, is what Baylan referenced Peridea as, a place where dreams and madness come to life. Oh, Purgle. I could watch Purgle travel in hyperspace. Like, I want, like, a 4-hour loop of Purgle traveling in hyperspace to just be, like, background. Another thing that I've found interesting... Oh, she got a tape of Anakin? Come on! Oh, this is so good.
In this war, you will face more than just droids.
Oh, this is... Ah!
Even Count Dooku.
Let's go!
You could face any one of them on the battlefield.
God, dude, I love Rosario so much.
As your master.
I love Ahsoka playing this tape while she's traveling. Prep.
Practice these forms often.
Another person playing with Darkside Forces a little bit, a couple episodes ago, was Ahsoka. And part of that training with Anakin, right, was choosing not to go down that path and let it be. But it'd be interesting what forms or how she uses the Force. The anger is back.
I know you can.
And we know Ahsoka's not going to go dark side, but it is interesting to see her utilize things that border that, you know, like the way that she pulled, you know, those guys in front of her as like shields and stuff. Like,
They made 20 or more of these recordings.
20 more of those.
This was his last one.
Oh, man.
Very thoughtful. I never realized.
He was a good master.
He was a good master.
Did you need something?
I think the whales may be reaching the end of their journey.
What makes you think that?
According to my instruments, their speed is decreasing.
Ooh. Almost Peridea, baby. I love that you can just see the hyperspace through their teeth.
And how do you propose we do that? If we have indeed traveled to another galaxy, our star charts will be useless.
Yep.
She came here with the enemy. We find the enemy.
We find Sabine.
And we find Sabine.
Yeah.
Direct and to the point is. I would point out that you are assuming the star whales have brought us to the correct galaxy, let alone the same system or even the.
They definitely did.
I think the odds are pretty good.
No, in fact, they're terrible, astronomically terrible.
Well, you should have said something.
I do like seeing a smile on Ahsoka's face. The fun, playful Ahsoka is back as well. You know, having that peace. And that's the other thing, too. I think you're going to see her at a level we've never seen her before, because she is at full peace with everything that she's been wrestling with.
Now.
Oh, snap! But, like, for real, I could watch Purgle just fly through space for hours and, like, meditate. It's so peaceful and calming. Disney, give me that. Give me Purgle in hyperspace on a loop for 2 hours.
Let's find out where we are.
Initiating scan.
I like how the ship is...
Picking up a lot of interference.
Something's wrong.
Yeah. Thrawn's peeps are attacking the Purgle. Oh my god. They're gonna kill these people.
Detecting multiple objects in our path.
Let's get out there.
Oh my god.
Perhaps we are safer in here.
Yep. Freaking Thrawn's forces just shooting at the Purgle, man. And he's got a lot of defenses. Look at all of that. Holy crow. They're... Oh, mines. It's a minefield. They probably should have stayed inside the Purgle's mouths. They don't seem to be affected by these at all.
It's an Imperial minefield. Head towards the planet. The field eventually terminates.
Thank God Ahsoka is real good behind the wheel of a of a ship. Oh, they're all jumping.
You had to say something.
Being optimistic.
It's like putting things into the world that lead to the exact opposite. Oh, but good thing they got out of there, because then they would have jumped somewhere else with all those Purgle. That is a lot of mines, man. And they, like,
We are almost through.
move in. Come on, Ahsoka! She's so good. Look at them flying skills.
We are clear.
Got him. There's the bad guys.
Well, we found the end.
Purgle literally brought them to the exact same point. I mean, you guys know my theory was, like, maybe they would bring them right to Ezra, but clearly, you know, you gotta show up in space outside of the planet first. Oh, she's gonna go into the bone field? Purgle bones, man. Also, the ships that these guys are flying are dope looking. The gold?
I can't find an opening. The field is too dense.
Feel your way through, Ahsoka. Yeah.
There is nothing on the scope.
Whew. Whew. That was close. This guy's gonna blow. Yeah, you saw that coming. God, look at the Chimera. That is a lot of coffin action. Oh, there's so many things I need answers to.
Grand Admiral, as you
Enoch.
minefield was triggered by a pod of arriving star whales. Among them was a T6 class Jedi shuttle.
It would seem Ahsoka Tano is alive and well after all.
Thrawn seems so excited.
The master was General Anakin Skywalker.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're certain there's only the one starship?
Correct, Grand Admiral. Our fighters have already engaged the target and pursued them into the debris field.
Excellent. That'll be all, Captain. Withdraw the fight.
The other thing I love about Thrawn, he gets excited, even when bad things for him are coming.
Without pursuit, we shall lose them in the debris field.
You're quite right, of course. Jedi are very good at hiding. They've been practicing that for years. However, we are getting to know our adversary.
Classic Thrawn.
Master should be unpredictable and quite dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why we must control all variables. Put her on a path of her own choosing, so that no matter which direction she takes, we'll always be one step.
This is why I love / hate Thrawn, right? Like, I love a good bad guy. You guys know that. And tactical mind, man. And Lars just continues to crush. I love his delivery so much. I get over the dad bod. You know, I know Thrawn is a very, very well-trained fighter. Shredded up in the show. But 10 years, he's an older man. Little dad bod, that's fine. It's about the presence of Thrawn more than anything. And, like, you could get Lars. You could get Lars, Mads' brother, in the gym before season 2 if you needed to. Like,
I do not like this. How did they anticipate our arrival?
yes, how?
Thrawn is behind that attack.
Mm-hmm.
Then the enemy has already found him.
It would seem so.
Mm-hmm.
I will run a scan to see if I can locate Lady Ren.
Good call, Huyang. Ahsoka seems... God, this episode might be a chess match. Ezra's little band of rebels. I want to just see the 15-20 minutes of like when him and Thrawn first got here. Hello!
Never really thought about how much I've missed. Still trying to process everything you told me. The Empire was defeated.
Mm-hmm.
The Emperor died.
That's what people say.
If only.
There's a new republic, Zeb's training recruits, and Hera's commanding...
That's so Zeb's training recruits. Okay. Reference, though.
You know, I was beginning to think we'd never find...
Love Sabine just with her feet up. That's... Oh, classic.
Find me. You never said.
It's complicated.
The usual level or worse?
Worse.
We could talk about something else, I guess. But you know, getting home is kind of important.
Dude, it's crazy. Like... That looks like live-action Ezra and Sabine.
Thrawn is her apprentice.
What?
Why?
You're not a Jedi?
Really?
Go on.
No, that's great. Makes sense, of course. Trained a little before, back when I was first learning. Yeah, so where is Ahsoka? Is she coming? That's complicated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Baylan's skull. I'm enamored with this character. Like, as I said before, it is just tragic every episode that, like, you know Ray Stevenson is past, because he's building something that is, like, maybe the most fascinating character on this show right now. I'm so intrigued.
Great mothers. I'm in need of yours.
God, dude,
We are at your service.
love me some Night Sister witches.
Find her.
Yes, Grand Admiral.
Oh, we gonna get to see some frickin' Night Sister magic go down right now from the Great Mothers. They love utilizing these little things, huh? She even knows the words to say. It's terrifying. Oh God, I love it. What is that? Are those like space amoebas?
Either my scans are being jammed, or there is too much debris. Should I try again?
No, we don't need a scan.
Yeah. Use the Force, Ahsoka.
Do you think your bond is that strong?
Let's go. Oh, I like that. She kind of leaned back in the chair and you got like a thump. That was excellent sound editing.
Hasn't been all bad. Obviously I made a few friends. The Noti's been great. Took me in when I really needed help. Set me up with this pod. It's good for mobile gear.
Yes. Let's go. Yes. Call out to her, Sabine. Yes! Let's go.
There you go, right?
Maybe that smile. Yeah. Let's go. She knows she found Ezra?
I see her.
Oh, now the Night Sisters see her.
The Jedi is there.
Oh, they triangulated exactly where she is. Oh, that's freaking crazy.
Captain Enoch.
That's so cool looking.
Open fire.
Something happened. What was it?
I don't know. Feeling
Yeah, Ezra's like, I could teach you.
familiar.
I hope we get to a place where we get a season 2 before that Filoni movie.
Wonderful. So, on our way.
Yikes. But like, I want Ahsoka and Sabine and Ezra to just all be training and doing Jedi things together. First, we gotta get out of Peridea, man. Come on, Ahsoka. Get through that bone field.
Well done. We've flushed out of hiding. We're not the focus of the Jedi's attention. Tana will pursue Sabine Wren. Contact the fighter group and have them re-engage the opponent.
Ooh, man, I love watching Thrawn do strategy stuff. Oh, hold. Can they tell Ahsoka's ship is coming? Oh no, Baylan and Shin.
Friends of yours?
Not exactly.
No.
I think we're about to find out how Ezra's survived all this time, maybe. But also, like, what is Baylan's move here?
Contact Thrawn. Kill Sabine Wren and Ezra Bridger, and take your place in the coming Empire.
He's gonna stay.
You won't help?
Your ambition drives you in one direction.
Mine in another.
My path lies in another.
I've located Ezra Bridger. Sending his coordinates now.
I want to know
One parting lesson,
Baylan's
Shin.
deal is.
Impatience for victory will guarantee defeat.
It's a good final lesson. Samurai-looking dudes are freaking dope character design. Damn! There's a lot of those guys. Like, the skull's just gonna bounce? What is going on?
Received a signal pinpointing Bridger's location.
Dispatch 2 gunships. If Lord Baylan proves capable, we may yet win the day.
Oh, here come them night troopers. One of the things I loved reading online, so someone described like the red cloth like holding them together. I was like, that's kind of a cool description. I don't know if that's what's going on, but like it gives me a really creepy feeling. Oh my goodness. Nice! Yeah! He taught them to use slingshots.
Peaceful people.
Peaceful, fine. You didn't mention defenseless.
They survived well enough.
Right, so they're peaceful and they don't have real weapons. Like, how is Ezra alive? Like, Thrawn should have been able to wipe these guys off the map so quick. Uh-oh. Oh, it's coming in! Nice! Oh, but he got out of the way. Damn. That was a good tactic, though. I appreciate that. Oh no! Of course you are, Ez. Still good-natured to his core. But are there any... Oh, that's cool. They can just drop in the pods and... like rocks. I like that their pods are kind of like the way they are.
Get inside. I'll handle this.
I'll handle it. We're gonna see Ezra do some things, I think. Oh, and here comes Ahsoka, right on cue. There they are. Gotta take those ships out, though. Look at Baylan. Just looking on.
Who's that? Just like you, but lacks your sense of
Shin Hati.
Lightsaber?
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if Sabine gives Ezra his lightsaber back.
Better get ready. Lock the door.
Oh, even the little guys in there too. Like the things they ride. Little wolf guy. Oh, baby.
I have to get down there.
But you gotta take... Right?
While under attack, standard Jedi mission protocol states.
No need to land.
Once I'm on the ground, drop it out of the way.
Not this again.
You got the timing?
Didn't I feel terrible? No. Huyang definitely didn't. He would have made some kind of sarcastic remark.
On my mark.
Oh man. What's the move here, Ahsoka?
2, 1.
Ooh! Let's go. She is a badass, but is Huyang as capable a fighter pilot as she is? Oh, snap.
This is a surprise.
Baylan Ahsoka one more time.
Didn't expect to see you again.
This conversation should be interesting.
Disappointed?
No, however. Can't allow you to
What is his deal?
I don't have time for this.
And she's going two sabers this time. Last time she took the defensive one saber stance. Or offensive? I don't know nothing about stances. She said they look cool. Dude, the samurai vibes right now are super strong also. What? Yeah. Took the words right out of my mouth.
Here.
Finally!
What thing?
It's your lightsaber. Take it.
You keep it.
What?
I don't need it.
Why does Ezra not need the lightsaber?
Very funny.
No, I'm serious.
Take it.
I gave it to you. It's yours now.
Please take a blast.
Don't need it.
No. The Force is my ally.
Yeah. I also like, I heard this mentioned too.
More than that.
The thing right here is very much like the paladin that Kanan wore. It's green. Just like a nice little nod. Yo. Sabine, use your lightsaber. Oh, Ezra. Meanwhile, that little sequence was very nice. Look at this. Wow. Let's go, man. The action has been phenomenal. Ezra. Oh, man, burned his hair. How dare you? We did not want short hair Ezra. Oh, Sabine, take out your saber. Like, Shin's just wildly. There you go, Sabine. The speed right now. Woo! Let's go.
It's not looking good for you.
Take her now.
Oh, Ez! You knew we were gonna get back down to a Sabine versus Shin battle. Oh, this is where I want to spend all my time, though. The two of them are whipping. Oh?
Can't defeat me.
Perhaps. I don't have to.
Here comes Huyang! I like that. The mutual respect you can feel between Baylan and Ahsoka, I dig. Even though they're trying to kill each other. Yep, Ahsoka got what she needed just to get away and take Baylan's ride. Now, where are you headed? Is there a dark force out there calling to you like Abeloth? Oh, look at this. Thrawn, very classic. He loves to use living maps to call moves out in real time.
We have them.
Our side is short one mercenary.
That is the question, Thrawn. Yo, let's go, Sabine. Like, Ezra, maybe you should take the saber back. Are they gonna get caught? What? Is Ahsoka gonna save the day? Well, it's about to happen right now. I love Sabine's little wolf guy.
Destroy them.
Wait. We could talk. Or we could just... don't you want to take us as
Prisoners.
As prisoners?
Very classic. Yep, here comes Ahsoka right on cue. Yo, no lightsaber needed for an apprentice. I love that. I'm battling with your master. I don't need a saber to take you out. I am with you, Huyang. Thank God for that Beskar, man. Yes, Ezra. He definitely holds his own, man. I don't think he's been using any dark side stuff, personally. But with that play of Baylan, like, Ezra could have been a good counter, story-wise, there.
What a rare sight. Almost like the Jedi of old. Recall the gunships. Call off the aerial pursuit.
Thrawn?
These are unfortunate, but acceptable losses given the absence of Lord Baylan. In the grand scheme of things, one might even call this first match with time.
Oh, God, I love Thrawn.
I see only our
Right?
enemies reunited.
Ah, this is why I love Thrawn.
With our enemy distracted, the cargo transfer is now almost complete, which means we shall soon leave this forsaken plane. Ahsoka Tano has lost the one thing she could not afford to lose today.
Yep.
Time.
Yup. That's the thing, the Purgle pieced, right? So if they jump, I don't know how Ahsoka and them get back. I guess, like, if Ezra could have called the Purgle, he probably would have left a while ago. Shin's like, what is happening? This makes me so happy, though. Oh, to have all three of them back together.
Surrender your weapon.
Shin gonna fight to the death.
I can help.
Yes, yes. The dark side leaves you alone. No, let her go. Dig that, Ahsoka. She doesn't matter.
Ahsoka.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Thought you were dead. I miss this one.
Get in there, Sabine. Get a group hug on. Oh, makes me officially back.
Wait, you thought she was dead?
Clearly I was wrong.
Oh boy. Yeah, time to get on board. Bring the homies with him.
Hey, it's okay. These are friends. All friends.
Makes it feel so good. Oh! I love these types of little creatures.
Guys, getting a feeling. I think I might be going home after
Oh,
all.
yet to be determined. They don't have a way to jump. I mean, I guess Ahsoka could go find some Purgle with a ship. Oh, is that where we end? Ugh! Geeta Vasant Patel. It's a new name. I don't think I've seen that name at all. That was a dope episode. Like, every episode this season is just right there, man. Like, oh, I want I want like 22 more episodes of this show. It's so good. And there's so many fascinating places to go. Like, it's one of these things where you can see that probably the end of the show will be getting back to our galaxy, however that plays out, right? Like, got a feeling that it's probably somewhere in that vibe. But, like, we don't... There's so much at play right now. Like, I need to know what's going on with Baylan. I feel like we're not going to get that, and that sucks even more because you're going to have to recast, you know? So, like, it's like one of those, I was hoping we'd get to that piece of the story with Stevenson. And, I mean, we still could, right? We're still in Peridea, so, like, we could. But it feels like this doesn't feel like the time is evaporating in the sense that, like, we're not addressing I don't feel like we have all this stuff to address next episode. I think there is a lot of stuff that we can address in general, but, like, Filoni has clearly set up stuff for the movie that he's got going on. I would assume a second season for Ahsoka. Like, when you watch the Marvel shows, right, they're one and dones every single time. And every time you get to the end of a season, you're like, okay, that's the end of that story. Not the case with the Star Wars stuff, right? We've gotten 3 seasons of Mando. This feels like it is building to a season 2. And I would love to see a season 2 that leads us into a film that, like, this is one of those, I think I've probably said this to you guys at least once, if not twice, like, this Rebels group, for me, is the closest thing to, like, riding with a group that you love to the originals. Like, there's more than, you know, I guess there's a pretty good, right? Chewie, Han, Leia, Luke, R2, C-3PO. Like, you got 6 individuals that we ride hard with in those originals. And here, you've got Chop and Ezra and Sabine and Zeb and Hera and Ahsoka, our 6. And this group of 6 plus Huyang, you know, like, there's a little bit more than 6, I guess, but this group in particular can, I think, find the same realm for people who are unfamiliar with the animated world. Like, this group as a group of characters, very, very similar to the original, at least in the way that I love them. So you can see, like, it's one of these, my friend Britt sent me a TikTok. I guess there was a book that came out about, like, the prequels and Star Wars and Lucas and stuff. And in the book, it notes what Lucas set up for Kathleen Kennedy and Disney when he sold. Wanted it to focus on Anakin's grandchildren because Leia was pregnant with twins back in the book. I guess the books that I'm reading fall in the Legends category, maybe, which isn't canon. But in the books, Leia had twins. It was going to focus on them. Leia becoming the Supreme Chancellor and finding out that she, not Anakin, not Luke, Leia was the one. Luke rebuilds the Order. Like, all the logical things that you would have assumed would have come in a sequel trilogy, Lucas laid it out, and Disney and Kathleen Kennedy ignored it. I've been on the bandwagon of, like, at this point, you just let Kennedy ride out her contract and be gone with her. But finding that news out this week, I was like, yo, she should be fired now. Like, to have been given that and strip it down for what they ended up doing, top 5 most irritating things that I've learned about Kathleen Kennedy and Disney since they've taken over Star Wars. That being said, it's one of these things where that would have been the logical place to go, right? A sequel trilogy. We've got Ford, we've got Carrie, we've got Hamill. You bring those 3 back, right? Like, that's the impetus for that story. And if, you know, Han don't want to play ball, you know, it wasn't necessarily something, because I think Ford was one of the people who was kind of very much like, kill Han. He don't want to play it, that's fine. You know, Carrie and Hamill would have been front and center for a trilogy, easy. Now, obviously, that would have played out in ways that would have been really difficult with Carrie's passing, but like, it's the logical next step in storytelling. And I feel like what Filoni is building in all of the stuff that is not saga, it's like giving us the stuff that we wouldn't have gotten. And I think this is a band of rebels that, like, we could ride with these guys, man. You could give us the way that we're not going to get seasons of television on Luke and Leia and more stories. This group, I think, can satisfy that. Include Din Djarin in the mix, you know, and Bo-Katan. Like, you have a world where in this Mando verse right now, we could just live in here, and you could build to the next empire, right? Like, obviously, Thrawn is not gonna make it to the New Order, or the First Order. So, like, you could build that whole bit, like Thrawn getting the Empire back in a place where it's got some power, that dematerializing. You know, I would love, you know, you're not going to get any more Kylo, right? Like, that's the other big mistake they made in the sequel trilogy. If you don't kill Kylo, then we can continue to follow his story. And then, you know, you got a real Skywalker involved. I like Daisy Ridley a lot. I thought she did a really, really good job with Rey. And there are elements in the sequel trilogy that I've enjoyed. I've talked about them. All of my thoughts were fairly positive after seeing. It's just like, on the backside, as you learn more and you think about things, and you're like, yeah, it's not there. But I have no interest in following Rey, right? Like, I would rather follow this group, and this could lead you to a place where you could get more Kylo. I would love to see stuff on the Knights of Ren. Like, that is what I'm hoping Filoni's and Favs are gonna lean into. Like, you're building out all this stuff with Mandalore and the Mandalorians. We can finish that story up, and then Din and Grogu can still be in play in the world. Same with Bo-Katan, but I want to see the shift be this group of people is taking Star Wars into the future. Because as characters, you've got that vibe that you want, and in the live action, everybody is capturing it perfectly. And I'm just like, it feels like Filoni has just set up stuff for way more stories than one more episode. And that's exciting, because I definitely want to see those things. And on top of that, what we got to tee up the finale, I'm stoked, man. I'm stoked. I don't know how much more of the Baylan story we're going to get, or if we'll get any answers to what his reason for being in Peridea is, but I'm fascinated by it. I want to see what happens next. I want to, even without Ray Stevenson, I want to see this character continue, because there's some fascinating things going on. I say fascinating a lot recently, but I'm just enamored with Skull. I think he's such an interesting character, and how Filoni is building him, along with everything else that he's built this season, like, this feels like the most complete Star Wars thing we've gotten. And that's no knock at Favs. I love what he's done with that Mandoverse. But, like, this is what I think we want. And Filoni has not missed on one episode. Every episode, home run after home run after home run, man. And the whole gelling of all the episodes together too feels so cohesive. It feels so satisfying every episode. Like I said, it doesn't feel like we've got all these things that we have to address next episode that we're not going to. And that is a lesson that I hope Marvel maybe takes away, or Disney in general, because they don't produce consistently above 40-minute television. And Filoni's got that trick up his sleeve where he knows how to write cohesive, complete stories in 25 minutes because of all of the animated stuff that he's done. So he can give you 35, 38 minutes, and it feels like I just watched an hour of television. So the idea of always being over 40, I think it should be over 45, but hey, from an editing standpoint, I'll take over 40, as long as it's feeling complete. And that's this story, 7 episodes in, it feels like it's not missing anything. And that is, I think, the biggest win so far. But like I said, I'm fascinated with what's going on with Baylan. I loved all the Ezra stuff this episode. Just his back and forths with Sabine, his re-seeing Ahsoka, especially because the last time those two characters crossed paths wasn't necessarily something that, like, Ezra ever knew he'd see Ahsoka again. So, like, that re-meeting was just wonderful. how he's been handling himself. There's been theories about, is he using the dark side of the Force at all? I didn't see any dark side stuff in there at all. I just saw a kid who was on a path to be a Jedi, got put in a scenario where he wasn't going to have any of his Jedi resources, and it's obvious that however he got away from Thrawn, whatever he had to do to keep Thrawn off his back, Ezra has been studying and getting in touch with the Force, right? He doesn't have a training protocol here, but he is clearly grown how he is in touch with the Force and how he can use the Force, and just his general skills, like seeing him dismantle people with no lightsaber and being comfortable going, that's your lightsaber, Sabine. I'm good. The Force is my weapon. And look, could you still go down where maybe some of those Force things aren't necessarily the most Jedi and upstanding of maneuvers? Sure. But the vibe I got in this episode is there's no darkness in Ezra Bridger. And even when he is using the Force for things, it's not like you're seeing dark side play there. So that's super exciting, because I didn't want to see that in this season and in this series at all, because Ezra's already faced the dark side and said, nah, if you can turn down the Emperor, there's nobody that's going to make you turn to the dark side. The only thing that would have made, I think, narrative sense is back against the wall, life, death, what do you choose to survive? And again, I would love to see some of that. Like you could open a Rebels live action show that way, or a second season of Ahsoka, like he's having a conversation. At some point, I hope we get to see that. I don't think we'll see that in this season, but that is definitely something I want to know. Somebody tell me how he got here with Thrawn and Ezra. But what Amon Esfandi is doing, with the blue eye, it is just so Ezra. He's so Ezra. And it's how I feel about Bordizzo with, Sabine. And obviously, since they cast Rosario, when Rosario got cast, you were like, she's going to be the best for Ahsoka. I loved everything that we were getting for Esfandi, and he got a real legitimate episode to kind of do things and show us some of that Ezra. And I love that it's friendship and all those core values that make Ezra are all very present here, and that makes me far more satisfied than if he was doing things that maybe weren't the most above board. And again, back against the wall, you wouldn't be able to blame Ezra, but it's clear that if he ever had to use the dark side of the Force, it hasn't corrupted him, right? He is in a place where he seems very centered and at peace. And it could be, if you go that route, you would be playing with something similar to what you're playing with Baylan. But I loved the Ezra stuff. Sabine and Ezra together. Bordizzo just continues to look phenomenal in the action set pieces. I love how you can see her lightsaber skills in use is getting better just because she's doing it more. And when she's going up against lesser opponents, she's able to pull some cool things off. So I loved how that whole sequence worked, how her and Ezra were working together. Then when Ahsoka shows up, how all three of them are doing things. That stuff was great. And then the Ahsoka and Baylan lightsaber fight, it was I was mesmerized. The speed, the type of movements, it was, again, I'm not really familiar with lightsaber forms and stuff like that, and as I've been dipping my toe into more content from other Star Wars fans, there are lots of things that people know about forms and stuff, and I don't know what forms they were using. All I know is it didn't look like anything that I had seen before, and it was fast, crisp, tight. That's what you want in lightsaber choreography, and all of it was stellar, man. It's one of those things where I haven't really seen any lightsaber stuff that gets me to go, wah! The way that Anakin and Obi get you. When Hayden and Ewan have lightsabers in their hands, nothing gets me more jacked. However, that fight got damn close to that kind of feeling. It was so cool looking. And to feel the ferocity in what they were doing, but at the same time, that mutual respect we were talking about, right? When Baylan catches her hand and it's you're not going to beat me. And Ahsoka's I don't need to beat you. I just need to distract you long enough so that I can take your ride and go get to my friends, and you won't be a threat while we're doing that. the cleverness of the Jedi, right? But like there is a mutual respect between the two of them, that whole fight, and it never really felt like either of them was going for a kill blow at any point, even though some of them throws, man, were legit. Like it was such a fascinating, almost like a ballet, you know what I mean? Like it was crisp. So I loved all of that stuff. Everything with Thrawn. Again, another spot where it's like, I feel like Filoni has not set things up for us that we need to address this season, but he has teed things up that like have me very intrigued in whatever the next piece of storytelling is going to be, and how Thrawn will play into the grander scheme. My general thought would be that Filoni is going to utilize Thrawn to bring the Empire back into power, and then I don't know if you bring Kylo in. I don't know if Driver would come back around and play it all. I would hope he would. He's so good. It's the only thing from the sequel trilogy that I actually enjoy, and I think semi-works and is kind of complete. And I say kind of because like we never got Knights of Ren. The Knights of Ren stuff that we got, it wasn't good. But like the Kylo arc, outside of maybe the questionable choices at the end for him, is the most satisfying thing in there. So I would love to see Driver come back. I don't know if he would, but you could literally be in a place where you could see Filoni building the Empire back up through Thrawn, and then the First Order kind of taking that over. I'll be interested to see where we go, but that's the thing that gets me excited with this, is like, unlike the Marvel stuff where I'm going into a finale going, damn man, there's so much on the table that they have to address in this episode, and it's probably going to be 30 minutes, and it's probably not going to be good. Here, I feel like Filoni has set up a lot, but for what he needs to accomplish in the next episode, it's exactly where you want it to be. And I expect over an hour next week, or at least the full runtime will be I would assume it to be back in the 50s with credits. But I expect a higher number of minutes next week, and it's going to be unbelievably satisfying. I think for one, I need it to be unbelievably satisfying for the Ahsoka character. While we talk about this being Rebels Season 5, this is Ahsoka's show, and she has had the most poignant moments so far from the characters that we have. So I need that for Ahsoka, and I think it's really easy to get us there. I'm not concerned in that realm at all. And then I just need the tee-up for Thrawn. Like, just tee me up to be in a world where it's like, we could get a Thrawn show, we could get a Rebels show, like, it's like, just, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So get me to those places next week, and this thing is a big ol' slam dunk. Let's get the Sea-Maniacs up. I'm not going to recap because I've already done that. My score for this week is another 4.5 out of 5. 3PO! Speaking of things, like, excitement levels, when 3PO showed up, mentioned Senator Organa, Leia Organa, coming in to save, Hera. We've gotten a couple of those like nods to Leia, which is cool. That was such a nice, wonderful pop moment, and like I said, the fights and the action, and there was lots of great pop, but none of that pop has reached that 5 level, right? Like, I mean, Anakin showed up again. That's forgetting all the things that happened at the beginning of this episode, man. The Purgle ride in, navigating through the minefield, that stuff was great. I just continue to love Ahsoka and Huyang as a pair. And yeah, like all of that stuff was just like, and to see Anakin and like a tape teaching Ahsoka more, like, that's why Filoni is a man we all love in the Star Wars universe. But even with a little bit of Anakin and a little bit of 3PO, I never quite got to the pop level that the 2 5s that I've given out this season have hit. I'm reserving that for that finale next week, but this show has been at a 4.5 minimum across the board every episode. It is doing everything I hoped this show would do, everything I want this show to do, and I could not be more satisfied as a Star Wars fan and a fan of these characters in particular. If you get me to a place where we can just do full-on Rebels stuff next time we're in live action with these characters, I'm very, very, very happy. So 4.5 out of 5 Sea-Maniacs for the Seaman this week. Heading into the finale, I'm very stoked. I can't wait. But the question is, what about you, man? How stoked are you for the finale of Ahsoka? How much did you enjoy this episode? Is the Thrawn and the Night Sisters and the Night Troopers, that stuff clicking? Is it interesting? Is it intriguing you? Interesting you? Pulling you in some way? All the stuff with Ezra and Ahsoka getting there. That re-meeting, like, just so... How did that hit? 3PO, a little more Anakin. The de-aging continues to look stellar since that first instance, right? So, like, how's that stuff hitting for you? What did the action do? What do you think about Shin and Baylan? There's so many fascinating things. That was another thing I love, too, is, like, Baylan knows he's gonna leave. But he knows what Shin's ambition is, so he lets her go. Stuff just working, man. So, what's working? What's not for you? Good, bad, indifferent on Ahsoka, Season 1. Episode 7, Part 7... what was it? Dreams and Madness, I think, right? Put those thoughts down below in the comments section. I look forward to talking to you guys down there. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you're new, you want to come hang out to see me anytime I'm talking movies, TV, trailer, reactions, you want to be here next week for the finale, see what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, how I'm reacting. You dig the vibe. You want to show a little love and support. Maybe you're digging the One Piece stuff. I got one episode up of that. We recorded our second one, so that'll be coming this week. We're wrapping up Mando. We got 3 eps left there. You're digging that coverage. You dig the vibe. You want to show a little love and support. Come join C-Maniac Nations where all those things happen, and you can do it simply by jumping over there, hitting that subscribe button, hit that little bell if you want those alerts, and until next time, for the C-Man Cinema Sit Down, I've been the C-Man. I'm signing off. Peace. Oh, you guys are still here. You snuck up on me. You must be looking for more of this guy. Well, I got 2 video options for you, man. Right up here and right over here. And if you want all those C-Man goodies, well, hey, come join the squad right on over there, and I'll catch you on the next one.